become visible, and enhanced colors to give you vision as sharp as an eagle's. The secret is Bell & Howell's light filtering technology. Nothing to see, right? But look again as we hold up our tack visor. Our colorful American eagle is revealed. Amazing. Think it's a trick? Bring it in, guys. Well, check out what happens when I show it to these people. Hop in. Look at that windshield. Tell me what you see.
A blank screen.
Just a blank screen.
Nothing. Blank.
Go ahead and put down that tack visor and take a look again.
Whoa! What the?
That is amazing.
That's crazy.
How does it do that?
Best of all, tack visor is easy to install on any car. Simply slide to adjust, and in just seconds, ready to rock and roll. So, if you need to block blinding glare without blocking your view, then you need a Bell & Howell tack visor. There's just nothing like it on the market today.
Act now to get a tack visor for just $19.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. Only a tack visor features Bell & Howell's precision and quality and is backed by our lifetime guarantee. But wait, order today and we'll upgrade you to our 2-in-1 tack visor. Just pay a separate fee. When the sun goes down, use the night vision visor to improve visibility and block dangerous glare from oncoming headlights. This offer won't last long, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
To order, call 1-800-965-3127 or go to tackvisor.com. That's 1-800-965-3127 or order online at tackvisor.com. That's 1-800-965-3127.
Just the beginning of the impacts we'll feel.
The waters are coming up, and unfortunately we're about to see the devastating impacts.
We have multiple threats here. The water has been rising.
Our coverage continues of Hurricane Florence, a massive storm set to bring continued impacts across coastal parts of the Carolinas for days. I'm meteorologist Alex Wilson in Wilmington, North Carolina, where it's really just begun. Mike Bettis is to the south of me. He's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And then farther south, Reynolds Wolf is stationed in Charleston, South Carolina, for the latest on the preparations there. Yes, they will be feeling impacts as well. And of course, our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knabb, with analysis you can only get here on the Weather Channel. He's going to break down everything you need to know moving forward about Florence. Here in Wilmington, we've seen winds gusting around 50 miles an hour, and that's been enough to already lead to some power outages across this community. Pretty deserted across the community today, and rightfully so. They wanted people to get out of town knowing what was coming. So a lot of businesses shut down, boarded up, sandbags are up. And Dr. Knabb, this is really the beginning, but I want to get the very latest. We've got a new advisory in from the National Hurricane Center.
Yeah, this is an intermediate public advisory from the National Hurricane Center, valid here at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. They'll have another full advisory coming out at 11. And so what they do here is they update the position and the strength and the motion and any changes to warnings and hazards and all of that. The only things that have really changed here are the latitude and longitude. Otherwise, is still maximum winds at 100 miles an hour, Category 2, pressure at 955, and the motion northwest at 5 miles an hour. But I would comment that the motion has become more and more erratic, and that's consistent with what the motion from the Hurricane Center says, because when you measure the forward speed, you don't do it over just 1 hour. They're looking at a general motion over a few hours, but in between, from hour to hour, it can be erratic when the forward speed is that slow. And on the satellite imagery, it certainly seems to go through episodes where it looks healthier, it looks less healthy, and then back and forth. But in general, based on all available data, it doesn't appear to be changing strength very quickly. There is a Hurricane Hunter plane investigating it. We're able to look at the velocities on radar and so forth. But the larger the hurricane is, and this has become a pretty large one with hurricane force winds extending some 70 miles off to the north, and we've already gotten reports of sustained hurricane force winds on land at Cape Lookout. But the larger the hurricane is, the slower it is to go up or down in intensity. The other problem with this is that it's not only large, but it's very slow moving, and you combine those two factors, onto the fact that we've got a Category 2 hurricane, which is always bad, and this is a disaster unfolding right before our eyes. It's just beginning, and it is going to last a long time, and it is going to expand beyond the area where it's already affecting. We're already having extraordinarily life-threatening flooding occurring here in eastern North Carolina. There's already been reports of flash flooding, freshwater. There's already been reports of storm surge flooding, and in some of the same places. Okay, so just as an example, one area I'm very concerned about right now is the Morehead City area, where they've had flash flooding and hurricane force winds, and there's got to be storm surge flooding occurring in a lot of different places. But let me move you up just a piece here into the New Bern area, where there's a flash flood warning also. But this is also upriver, where you can have storm surge, and we've had reports of that. And in fact, I believe on the lower left-hand part of your screen there, we're looking at that general area. But that's a sign of rising waters, and in many places that's going to be a combination of salt water and fresh water. And where is this all going to head, and who's going to be next? I mean, this is, okay, so here's that live view, and this is in New Bern, okay, so this is at Union Point, okay, and this is looking to the southwest, and you're already seeing the river covering what would normally be dry ground. Okay, so the rivers have come up, and that is largely a result of the storm surge, okay? But in that same area, we're having 3 to 6 inches of rainfall already occurring, another 3 to 6 inches to occur this evening, and that's going to combine to cause the creeks and streams connected to that river to come out of their banks. And so this is a shelter-in-place kind of situation. Anybody who's in that area, if you're caught in flooding, you got to go up as high as you can in your structure and call 911 if you feel like there's just no other option. So this is the area where we have the likelihood of flash flooding, but there's also storm surge flooding occurring in these same areas, and this is where this is headed. So in order to help you understand why this is such significant flooding, that's the same place. On the left is earlier today, before the hurricane arrived. On the right is what's going on now, live. So that water has risen. That's storm surge flooding. And by the way, we haven't even reached high tide yet in this part of the country. That's coming over the next 3 or 4 hours or so. So this is going to get higher. The water level is going to get higher because it's a continuous onshore push on the north side of the hurricane, and we are headed toward high tide. So this is why there was a storm surge warning, not just on the Outer Banks, but also in the Sounds and up the rivers. We talked about New Bern being one of the areas that could be flooded by both storm surge and freshwater flooding when we saw this coming yesterday. And so that's why it's important to be listening to us if you are farther to the west and south where the hurricane is eventually headed. That kind of flooding could eventually happen in places like Wilmington, along the South Carolina coast. River flooding could occur not just near the coast, but inland as well. The center of circulation is not something that we can depend on behaving itself and going right down the middle of that cone. It could come ashore and maybe come back over water, maybe make multiple landfalls. So all the way down to Charleston, South Carolina, you're not out of the woods for eventually getting a direct effect from this very slow-moving hurricane. And so it's going to be frustrating, I know, for people to think that, Alex, like in places like Wilmington, right now you're not getting the worst of it, but you eventually will. And I really hope people aren't thinking, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought. It's going to get a lot worse. And then after it goes by you, South Carolina could end up getting the worst. Really difficult when it's a long duration event like this.
I was going to say that is one of the challenges of the messaging that comes along with something that's so slow moving, because I think people automatically tune into, okay, the onset, and they knew things would get bad Thursday evening, and I think they're thinking, oh, so this is as bad as it gets. But unfortunately, because Florence is so large and so slow moving, it's a slow ramp up. Then it's going to be a very long period of activity, and the most strong activity. And it's going to take a long time for this to wind down. So conditions like what we have now, winds gusting around, or if not over 50 miles an hour, between now and Saturday. We're talking 48 hours. So this is a long haul event for the city of Wilmington. As we go through tonight and Friday, that's when we could get on those hurricane force wind gusts, those winds that are exceeding 75 miles an hour at times. So power outages, that's concern number 1. 2, surge. Dr. Knabb just mentioned it. We're going to be watching this, the Cape Fear River, tomorrow as those winds switch to more of a southerly direction. Now we're going to have that push northward. And so we will get up to 6 feet of surge flooding. Then the rain, 2 feet or more possible. So freshwater, surge, they're going to come together. That water is going to have nowhere to go. So exacerbating our flooding issues. Then, of course, we've also got to talk about the threat of severe weather. We just had a tornado warning north and east of here that was moving 85 miles an hour. These tropical systems can bring these quick spin-ups, and they can move very quickly. So something to think about, that if you did make the decision to stay here in the Wilmington area, that's something we'll be watching for. But, of course, the biggest threat here, Mike Bettis, is that flash flood danger, that inland flood danger, river flooding for a long period because of just the incredible rainfall rates we're expecting.
All right, so Alex, the deal is this, for so many of us, it's the rain. And then how much flooding will we end up seeing? For a lot of us, it's going to end up being potentially record-setting amounts of rain that could drop foot and a half here in a place like Myrtle Beach. And we can flood in a general summertime thunderstorm, okay, where you get maybe an inch of rain. Think about some of the heavy rainfall rates that could be produced by this, 2-3 inches an hour. And that could go on for hours on end, meaning a lot of what's here is an island, okay? We've got the intercoastal, the Waccamaw River, which basically cuts off Myrtle Beach. It becomes an island. So you get storm surge flooding, rainfall flooding, and Myrtle Beach is completely inundated. Now, we've had some rain bands that have come in this evening, our first real taste, if you will, of Hurricane Florence. It's only going to get worse from here as the heavy rain bands increase through the night tonight, through the day tomorrow. Could rain all day long tomorrow, okay, all day long. We may be setting state rainfall records here in South Carolina, but how far inland the rain goes is going to depend on the exact track, okay? But already forecasting half a foot of rain interior South Carolina and through the upstate as well. Accompanying the rain is going to be the wind. We're anticipating wind gusts over 75 miles an hour beginning later tomorrow, lasting through Saturday. And I think for a lot of us, that becomes a problem because now we've saturated the soil, right? And so now we've loosened the root systems of our trees here, and now you bring in a big wind gust, and down they go. All right? And the emergency managers here have said, remember, we can't send crews out there to do cleanup, to clear debris off of streets, to clean up trees, to repair down power lines until the weather allows us to do that, okay? And so what you have to think about is, all right, well, the winds have to come down. You can't put someone up in a bucket truck if the winds are 40, 50 miles an hour, and you've got to do it safely so that roadways that the crews are on aren't flooded either. It could be a really laborious, long-going, ongoing process for days to come, and asking everyone to be patient in that regard. Also, by the way, I want to update you on this. They've suspended the contraflow here, so no longer do we have reversed lanes, so you'll be able to get back eastbound now on I-26 and 501 after the storm, okay? But you won't be allowed back in until they've done damage assessments, made sure that everything is clear for you to come in. And remember this, they'll set up roadblocks, okay? And at those times, you'll have to produce an ID and proof of residency, something like a utility bill, so that you'll be allowed back in. Otherwise, you won't be allowed in, Mark. That's an important caveat to remember for those of you who have evacuated and want to come back in. State-issued ID and proof of residency. Those are two very important things you need to have.
It always takes longer than people want, but it's for good reason because, as you mentioned, that wind and the tree damage potential could be extensive with this storm. I mean, with the pressure of between 950 and 955 and the winds not increasing, it means that wind field is expanding and it's going over saturated grounds. We're going to have a lot of trees that come down when all is said and done. So that is a big part of the story as Florence goes along the Carolina coast. 750,000 people were evacuated out of North Carolina, and big power outages have been reported in the Carolinas as well. More than 70,000 customers in the dark right now without power in North Carolina, and the Pentagon has positioned 7,000 troops for relief. Plus, there are 40,000 power workers from the Carolinas and from other states ready to help in the aftermath as well. So that cleanup will get done, but it always takes longer than you want. And there are those backup points at the checkpoints, as Mike mentioned. Want to go out to Alex Wilson in a much quieter than normal Wilmington, right? You think most people got out of town, Alex?
Yeah, apparently, this is one of the most popular restaurants in town closed, and I would say 95% of the businesses are closed, boarded up. We did see a few bars open. There's a general store open, as well as the Waffle House. They're still keeping things going. They're very well known for not closing unless things are just so bad. And tomorrow, perhaps, we could be looking at those really treacherous conditions with the rain, the strongest wind gusts, and, of course, the surge potential here. Even in Wilmington, up to 6 feet storm surge possible. Winds have been gusting around 50 miles an hour this afternoon and this evening. But Dr. Knabb, this is going to be a long duration event. So the surge is yet to come. The strongest winds yet to come. And of course, the rain yet to add up here in a place like Wilmington.
Yeah, so I want to talk about how the coastal areas could be affected over the next few days by Florence. Not just the beachfront, but the coastal areas, because as this hurricane moves along, it's not going to be simply raking the beachfront, okay? And the heavy rainfall and the flash flooding will combine with storm surge flooding that gets into bays and gets up rivers, so that we have a regional issue along the coast. And so what we're already seeing starting to happen tonight is going to continue to happen tomorrow into Saturday. This is where flash flooding is likely. It's along the coast, but it's in the coastal region, but extending inland as well as the hurricane slowly makes its way to the west, we think, as it meanders. And then this problem continues in the same general area as we go into the weekend. But so that flash flooding that's occurring in coastal regions is happening on top of the storm surge flooding that is expected to be in these ranges somewhere within those outlined areas, including down into South Carolina over the next few days. And so I want to urge people in the coastal areas that have not gotten the worst of it yet, that this event is slow to unfold. We are about to make some history that no one wants to be a part of, with historic rainfall totals, with catastrophic flooding. And don't assume that it's only going to be in eastern North Carolina. It could go farther down the coast. It could go into South Carolina. And then, of course, the inland effects will continue to unfold after Florence finally goes inland at some point. So much for us to keep track of. Look at the live camera view here of the storm surge on the left, the heavy rainfall on the right, and this is just the beginning. Stay with us.
Part 1 was perfect, but then they made a sequel, and it lived up to the hype. After 2 hits this big, you make a trilogy.
An umbrella can keep you dry when it starts to pour, but it's a struggle to get it closed and into the door. Then it drips and makes messes all over the floor. Well, not anymore. Introducing Brella, the ingenious new umbrella with reverse open-close technology. There's no easier way to get in from the rain. You'll always stay dry with no puddles inside. The secret? Brella opens and closes differently than other umbrellas. Old umbrellas just get in the way, but watch how fast and easy Brella saves the day. Plus, look, close it and it forms a waterproof cone. All the wetness stays inside, not on your floor. Amazing! The secret is Brella's smart redesign of the traditional umbrella. We turned it upside down and inside out, making it easier to use and much more practical. So now it's super simple to get in and out of any door without getting wet. You'll be inside in a jiffy with Brella. And never worry about the wind again, because Brella is windproof. Strong wind, soaking rain, or heavy snow, Brella keeps you dry wherever you go.
This umbrella makes my rainy days so much easier. Whether I'm walking the dog or grocery shopping, this umbrella works.
Standard umbrellas sell for more than $40, and one that's windproof is over $50. But today, you can get the all-new Better Brella in your choice of black, red, or blue for just $19.99. Plus, call now and we'll instantly upgrade you to our special ergonomic handle. The soft comfort grip molds perfectly to any hand and makes it easier to hold. Yours free. And we guarantee Better Brella will be the last umbrella you'll ever own or your money back. But wait, call right now and we'll double the offer. That's right, get a second Better Brella. Just pay separate fee. That's 2 Better Brellas for just $19.99. Call now.
To order, call 1-800-636-5015 or go to betterbrella.com. That's 1-800-636-5015 or order online at betterbrella.com.
Life happens everywhere, like it never even happened, only happens here. The cleanup and restoration specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and servpro.com.
Season after season, year after year, customers have found that when it comes to replacing their windows, there's only one company to call, Renewal by Andersen. Call 1-800-352-3613 now. So what makes Renewal by Andersen so good? Fibrex material, an innovative composite material exclusive to Andersen that provides strength and durability, far surpassing vinyl. In fact, it won't warp or bow over time like vinyl does. Get the window replacement solution proven to stand the test of time, plus the peace of mind that comes from a superior service experience. That's Renewal by Andersen. Call 1-800-352-3613 today and get 20% off your entire order with this exclusive TV offer. Again, that's 800-352-3613 for 20% off. Plus, get no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window. Call 1-800-352-3613 now.
The only Emmy-nominated weather network on cable.
When this much rain falls, it is a life-threatening situation.
Is the most essential coverage on TV.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, mostly sunny skies. High 90. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 68. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to the Weather Channel's continuing coverage of Hurricane Florence, a Category 2 hurricane with 100-mile-per-hour winds and a surge that is causing issues. New Bern, North Carolina. Stunning pictures here of the water rise that we've had. 6 feet of water rise here in New Bern, and normally you'd see steps down to the water here, a park. Everything is underwater tonight. This is what happens when you get a really strong onshore flow and you get water rises, not just at the coast, but up through the rivers as well. An incredibly dangerous situation in eastern North Carolina tonight as Florence is just lashing North Carolina. Eventually, as it comes ashore, parallels the coastline, it's going to share the wealth, unfortunately, with South Carolina. And we appreciate you staying with us here, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis in Myrtle Beach, where off and on with the rain this evening. Heavy rain, though, likely to inundate us through the night tonight and likely through the day tomorrow. As much as 1.5 feet of rain could be coming our way. It's a ghost town here, and it's that way in many places, including Wrightsville Beach in North Carolina. This is a place where potentially the center of Florence could go right over, maximizing the winds, maximizing some surge, maximizing the rain. Everyone's left. And that is amazing to see that everyone is gone. They've heeded the evacuation orders as they should, because for some of these places, it's a once-in-a-lifetime hurricane event. And when that kind of thing happens, you don't want to take any chances whatsoever. So many places are susceptible to flooding here in North Carolina and South Carolina, up and down the coastlines, truly. The beautiful places to be many times of the year. Reynolds Wolf has been to those beaches many, many times. And barring hurricanes, Reynolds, they're fantastic. Beautiful natural beaches, beautiful dunes. They're fantastic, right? Very, very peaceful. But all hell breaks loose when a hurricane comes. And even down to a place like Charleston, you know it very, very well, a place that goes underwater with barely a drop of rain.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, this is one of those places, one of the prettiest places in America that at from time to time does deal with very rough weather. And, you know, they're veterans, aren't they? I mean, they've been doing it quite a bit. You had Hugo back in '89. They've had a long history of rough weather. If you look over this building over here, just in front of me, Matt Safer's the man behind the camera. Matt, if you show America what we have on the lower floors and mid floors, you'll notice something that's a little bit amiss. Some plywood. Even on the other building, the one that's more of a pastel color, you'll see all buildings, or rather all levels, you've got some of that up. But I'll tell you, that's to help protect against some of the wind. Another big issue that we have, obviously, is storm surge. Dave Malkoff talks a bit about that. Take a listen.
Using this map, we are about to take a look at a before the storm view of two areas around Charleston, South Carolina that could have potential problems with storm surge. We hopped in our Weather Channel mobile unit, plugged the coordinates into Google Maps, and headed out to the first location, just a few minutes from the downtown area.
You've arrived.
Looks like it's right about there. This is our first location in Charleston where you could see up to 6 feet in inundation from storm surge, worst case scenario. Looks like it is just an open field. As we go to the Little Planet virtual reality mode, you can see that we've got the 17 bridge that goes over to Mount Pleasant. Behind those trees, there's a student housing complex. This building over here is a recycling plant. But for the most part, this area looks like it's undeveloped. Okay, on to location number 2. 10 minutes from the first location. Again, look at the map. Potential storm surge from Hurricane Florence around Charleston, South Carolina. You can see there are many areas prone to flooding. These are just some areas where the risk is higher. Our second location where you could get worst case scenario up to 6 feet of storm surge is right in the heart of downtown Charleston. You can see from our virtual reality view that we've got the Carnival Cruise Port over here, some warehouses, bars and restaurants all over this area. This is much more populated than the area that we saw before, but these two areas could possibly see a lot of storm surge here in Charleston. Only time will tell.
And what's more, as we bring in Dr. Knabb, when you think about what you have with Charleston being located on a peninsula, you've got the Ashley Cooper Rivers, at the same time Charleston Harbor, the chance of fresh water flooding and also saltwater flooding. Dr. Knabb, a huge mess, but I know you're also following flooding inland, and on top of that, the possibility of, well, what may be the reality of wind damage.
Yeah, and it's so important to keep people in Charleston taking this as seriously as they have been, because just because it's up in North Carolina's coastal area right now doesn't mean it can't come down and have a southward component of motion and have a very significant effect on Charleston, including with storm surge and at the very least with winds and heavy rainfall because of this potential track area, including Charleston. We just don't know how it's going to move exactly with respect to the coastline. It could go very much along the coast for a significant part of its weekend here before finally going inland for good. So there's a storm surge watch still in effect for Charleston, with the distinct possibility that we get 2 to 4 feet of storm surge flooding somewhere in that part of the coastline above normally dry ground. And if it gets clearer that we're going to have maybe 3 feet or more, then some of that area might have to go under a storm surge warning. So again, it's a slowly evolving disaster here. It's just beginning here in North Carolina. The center is offshore, but hurricane force winds are already on land. We're going to talk to the inland folks here in a little bit, but look at Surf City, North Carolina. The winds are howling.
Colon cancer screening for people 50 and older at average risk.
I think it's time for a new screen, for a different kind of screen, for colon cancer.
Thought about it? His wife asked about screening options, and her doctor ordered me. I'm Cologuard, the non-invasive test you use at home. No special drink, just a trip to the bathroom.
Cologuard, colon cancer screening that's as easy as get, go, gone. Cologuard is not right for everyone, so ask your doctor if it's right for you.
Guys, is this you? Busting out of your pants? Out of shape? No energy or drive? Then you need Nutrisystem for men.
I'm Chris, and I lost 120 pounds on Nutrisystem.
I'm Essex, and I lost 43 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Lose up to 18 pounds and 8 inches overall in your first month. Money back guarantee. Real guys, real results. Put down the wings, pick up the phone, and get with the program today. Order your 28-day plan now and save 40% off every program. That's 40% off breakfast, lunches, dinners, and snacks. For a limited time, save 40%. Plus, get 1 week of all new NutriPro shakes, packed with 20 grams of protein to help shrink your gut, free.
The food was delicious. I love the food. Pasta, pizza, so good.
Plus, we'll throw in FedEx shipping free.
It was perfect for guys like me who don't like to cook.
Lose up to 18 pounds and 8 inches overall in your first month.
It's simple. You eat the food, you lose the weight. Go online or call 888-648-DIET and get free shakes plus 40% off every program.
He was diagnosed with a large tumor. St. Jude gave us our son back. This place is saving children every day.
Que él está bien, porque gracias a St. Jude me están dando una esperanza de vida para él.
1 in 5 children diagnosed with cancer in the U.S. will not survive. You can join the battle to save lives during Childhood Cancer Awareness Month by supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Without St. Jude and without the research they've done, I may not have my daughter.
Families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because all a family should worry about is helping their child live.
What's that?
Please call or go online right now and become a St. Jude Partner in Hope for only $19 a month.
I hope they find the cure for cancer so you can go back to being normal and be stronger.
They share their research, so it's saving children around the world.
When you join with your credit or debit card right now, we'll send you this St. Jude t-shirt you can wear to show your support for the children of St. Jude.
To people who have donated, I would say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wish I could shake each and every one of your hands.
I cannot thank them enough. I wish they could see the lives they're changing.
St. Jude won't stop until no child dies from cancer.
St. Jude is giving us hopefully a future. They've given me my son.
Go online or call with your $19 monthly gift. Let's end childhood cancer together.
Those are the sights and the sounds of Hurricane Florence, a Category 2 hurricane, getting closer and closer to the shore. I'm literally sitting just off the coast of North Carolina tonight with 100-mile-per-hour winds, and we've got team coverage for you lined up in North Carolina and South Carolina, including meteorologist Reynolds Wolf. He's in Charleston, South Carolina. Meteorologist Alex Wilson, she's in Wilmington, North Carolina. Our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knapp at the Weather Channel headquarters, breaking down the very latest what's going on with this storm tonight. We've also got meteorologist Mark Elliott for you tonight. I'm Mike Bettis coming to you from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the winds have picked up tonight, but the rain has let up. But heavy rain will impact us for at least the next 36 to 48 hours. One place that's been really getting hit hard today is North Carolina. Alex is there. Alex, the conditions are only going to get worse there in Wilmington, a city that's susceptible to flooding, and then wait for the winds to pick up. That could get incredible overnight tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, we've seen some strong gusts already today, up around 50 miles an hour, but we know that's just the beginning of what's yet to come. And by the way, already getting reports of power outages, customers without power here in Wilmington. So at those 50-mile-per-hour gusts, knowing that we've lost power for some, we know what's coming. 75-plus-mile-per-hour gusts overnight and through the day Friday. So that means more power outages anticipated here. And then we've got to talk about the water. The water will probably be the biggest danger from this storm. We'll be watching for a surge up to 6 feet. But what I'm especially concerned about is how that combines with the freshwater flooding, the rain that's still yet to come. Right now, we're dealing with some light to moderate rain at times. Rain's going to continue as we get into the start of our weekend, all the way into Saturday. So we are going to be watching for over 2 feet of rain to likely fall across this area. Now, areas where you have surge, that and the water that's coming down, it's going to have nowhere to go. So that's going to lead to flooding. But of course, anytime you're talking about 2 feet of rainfall, you know that you are up against flash flooding concerns, even away from the water. So a lot of communities are going to be dealing with a very serious and significant threat of river flooding, of flash flooding. And so they are prepared. You know, we talked to the chairman of the county commission here, and he said, you know, we're ready for anything. We're ready to rescue folks should the need arise. And, you know, we're already getting reports of even a TV news station that's had to leave because of the water coming up. So big problems already. And Mike, we know that this is going to be, you know, Dr. Andersen saying a marathon, not a race. This is going to be a long duration event, and places like Myrtle Beach will get in on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any question that we're going to get days of rain here. Flooding rain is almost a certainty at this point. I think storm surge is questionable. It's really going to depend exactly where the eye goes, whether or not we get the surge. If the eye goes more inland, I think that minimizes the surge impacts. If it stays offshore, I think it maximizes the surge impacts, and the winds are going to pick up, and they'll just increase through the day tomorrow. So a lot of things are going to be happening for us, right? Hey, I want to show you some new video that we have out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. Winds coming in there, and how about the power surges there and the sparking? A lot of times what will happen is you end up getting high winds that, you know, knock off a tree limb or something like that. They'll hit power lines, and then those power lines will arc and they'll spark, and you'll see that. If you see something that's like a blue color, a green color, or a purple color, it's usually a power line that's sparking. If you see something that's an orangish color or reddish color, that may be a transformer on fire. Generally, transformers don't explode, but they can catch fire because they have combustible material inside and some oils. But when you see the sparking, that's generally a piece of debris hitting a power line. They call that arcing. And we can see a lot of that. A lot of times you'll get, you know, small pieces of debris that eventually, when the winds really pick up, you get big pieces of tree, and they just eventually take down power lines, and we lose a lot of power that way. Sometimes power poles themselves will just snap. You get pine poles, and they'll just snap right on over. Hopefully we can avoid any serious issues with large transmission lines, but, you know, be prepared. Be prepared to go without power for a lengthy period of time. I mean, do you have your flashlights ready to go? Lanterns? Do you have backup batteries? Don't use open flames. That's for sure. Avoid using open flames pretty much at all costs. Do you have a generator? Do you have enough gas for your generator? Are you storing that gas in the right place? Are you operating your generator a safe distance from your house, away from doors, out of the garage? Don't do it in the garage. Keep it away from windows and patio doors. At minimum 15 feet away from your house is the best way to use it. And make sure that the exhaust is pointing away from your house and not toward your house. Okay, just a few tips there to help you get through this and have the conveniences that we all enjoy of modern day electricity. But power outages could be extensive from Georgia to South Carolina to North Carolina, maybe even portions of Virginia. Be ready for that. Hey, when we come back, folks, more from Reynolds Wolf in South Carolina, Alex Wilson in North Carolina, and our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knapp. We'll be right back after this.
Our dad was in the hospital.
Because of smoking.
It still had to have a cigarette.
Had to.
But then we were like,
what are we doing?
The Nicoderm CQ patch helps prevent your urge to smoke all day. Nicoderm CQ. You know why, we know how.
Daily Dollar deals are here at Long John Silver's, where you can get a different deal every day. Like sliders, Baja fish tacos, and popcorn shrimp. Popcorn chicken, crab cakes, and sweets. All for just $1 each. Only at Long John Silver's.
Lovely. How does one make such delightful cucumber sandwiches?
Frank's Red Hot sauce, Your Majesty. I put that on everything.
Frank's Red Hot Original, the perfect blend of flavor and heat.
In just days, Publishers Clearinghouse awards the $2,500 a week forever prize. Win $2,500 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $2,500 a week for their life. Don't miss your final chance to win. Enter at PCH.com and October 26th. Win forever.
Every so often, there is a breakthrough in modern technology. Now, for the first time, there is a flashlight that runs on water. Introducing the Hydrolite. There are no batteries and no charging. It simply runs on water. How does it work? You just remove the revolutionary Hydrocell fuel cell and immerse it in any kind of water for 10 to 12 seconds. When water enters the fuel cell, it immediately begins to generate power. Place the fuel cell back in the Hydrolite and you have an impressive flashlight. The Hydrolite can be switched on and off like a regular flashlight and can literally run for days on a single water dip. When the water dries out, simply re-dip the fuel cell in any kind of water and you'll have more light. It's amazing. And with a rubberized armor coating, the Hydrolite is rugged, durable, and made to last. But the Hydrolite is more than just a flashlight. By extending the barrel, it becomes a hands-free lantern. It's perfect for outdoor camping activities. It can even hang inside your tent. It's perfect for changing tires or for any time you need a hands-free light. And for those times when the power goes out, no problem. The Hydrolite is the perfect long-lasting light for emergencies of all kinds. It even has a full 25 years shelf life. Order now, and you can get your Hydrolite for just $29.95. And the shipping is free. Your Hydrolite will come with a water fuel cell that can easily provide up to 300 hours of light. But order now, and as a special bonus, you'll get a second fuel cell absolutely free. That's 600 hours of light. That's an incredible deal. There's no better light for emergencies and disasters than the Hydrolite. It runs on water. No more messing with dead, leaky acid batteries ever again. To order, call or go to the website, hydrolite.com. That's hydrolite.com. That's hydrolite.com.
Don't paint me as a victim. I am much more interesting than that. I can't do it anymore.
Do you have an occupation?
I do.
And what is that?
I am a kingmaker.
The Wife, rated R. Now playing select cities.
Constipation can happen all around us. You just need to know where to look. Luckily, there's Colace. It's the #1 doctor-recommended stool softener brand for occasional constipation.
Welcome back to our coverage here. My goodness. Remember this view from earlier in the day if you've been watching all day. Surf City, North Carolina. That is an American flag getting actually, that looks like a hurricane flag now. Earlier in the day, there was an American flag up. They must have changed it out somehow at some point. My goodness. Even that is getting just pounded, right? Hurricane force winds are slamming the coastline, continuing to move ever so slowly further towards the west, further towards the south, impacting more and more people with these winds. And the impacts continue to grow. Not only are we seeing horizontal rain and the wave action increasing, but the severe weather component is increasing as well. I'm meteorologist Mark Elliott. Want to show you this tornado watch. It goes until 9 o'clock over eastern North Carolina, but well outside of this zone, about halfway outside the watch to Raleigh, is a new warning. It's all the way out here, right? Here's the center of our storm, and the outermost band that still has some significant shower and thunderstorm activity with it is giving us this tornado warning. It's outside of the Spites Bridge area. Wilson County goes until 9 o'clock. A fast-moving tornado warning, but not quite as fast as some of the ones closer to the center, right, where those bands are whipping around. Closer to the center, we had tornado warnings moving close to, say, what was it, 85 miles per hour earlier. This one closer to 35. You notice right in here the reds and greens next to each other. And I'm going to have to update this because it just moved as I was talking to you. So here is the latest area of concern right through here. And we're going to really have to update these because they're moving so quickly. So here we go. Here's some of the timing for you. Black Creek at 8:44, Watson Crossroads at 8:56, Hickory Crossroads at 9:03 for this area of concern with this potential tornado. One of many that will still be at play through the rest of the evening, I'm sure. So again, our area of concern with Florence is all the way over here. Notice all of this is onshore flow, right? And the waters have started to really pile up. Storm reports starting to come in close to the coastline, including some of these. Storm surge at the Neuse River over East Front Street in New Bern. Storm surge street flooding now on Shore Drive in Havelock, and also overwash on North Topsail Beach. That was a little bit earlier today, but you got to imagine that is still continuing. And then, of course, the power outages continue to grow. North Carolina now with 90,000 outages, mostly because of a big jump here in Craven County. That's the addition onto the map, about 12,000 of you on top of the 54,000 customers without power in Carteret, and a smattering of other counties as well. So, Alex, now up to 90,000 customers without power in North Carolina. That will only continue to grow. And I know I've seen some lights around you throughout your live shots, but as those storms move towards you, power is going to be a big problem there as well.
Yeah, I think more power outages are going to be coming into play here in Wilmington. We already have some. In fact, those stronger wind gusts, they're less few and far between than they were, say, at the start of this. We're now beginning to see more consistent, every few seconds you get some stronger gusts. And when they come right around 50 miles an hour, we know that's going to ramp up as we get into the overnight hours and through the day Friday. That's when our period of strongest wind gusts will be. So we're talking about 24 hours of really strong winds. We could still be seeing those gusts at or over 50 miles an hour into Saturday. So it's a long-term event, and that's why the concern for power outages is so high. This isn't just, a few hours of strong winds and then it's done. Instead, it's a long period of those battering winds. And then the water, of course, will be a huge concern. We think rainfall rates will be on the order of 2 to 3 inches an hour as we get some of those heavier bands coming in over the next few hours. So I think overnight, we're going to be seeing a whole different scene here in the Wilmington area. Mike Bettis in Myrtle Beach. Things are really going to be ramping up as we head into the day tomorrow.
Indeed they are. We're going to have increased winds, we're going to have increased rain, and the possibility we could get some pretty significant storm surge here depending on where the track of the eye goes. A couple things to update you on here in Myrtle Beach. Curfew is in effect, so dusk to dawn curfew, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. You need to be at home and staying put. First responders doing patrols tonight, and they say aggressively enforcing curfew tonight. Here along the boardwalk, we just saw 2 foot patrol officers checking it out. There's nobody out here, so that's good. Also, we've got 6 shelters open here in Horry County, housing 2,000 people right now, and those numbers expected to go up across the state. More than 50 shelters are open right now. Some of them are already at capacity, so if you're still thinking about going to a shelter, I may call ahead and see if they have availability for you. And remember, you need to take your own bedding with you because they're not providing bedding at the shelter. So if you want to be comfortable, take your pillow and take your blanket with you. They're there to save your life, in essence, Dr. Nab. That's basically what the shelters are for. They're not there to be a 5-star resort hotel. They're just there for you to have a safe place and a dry place so that you don't get injured or harmed in any way by the hurricane.
The highest priority by far is life safety, and it's going to be testing our nerves and our endurance to ride out a long duration storm. But that's what we were faced with the flooding rains, the storm surge flooding, and the winds. We've got flash flood warnings in effect there in eastern North Carolina, likely to very likely devastating flash flooding through tomorrow morning. And that's going to be just the beginning. And by the way, there's the possibility of flash flooding along the Texas coast and in the Houston area, and that expands inland as we go into the weekend. So don't drive across any water-covered roads. Don't drive around a barricade. Stay out of floodwaters completely. Evacuate if you're told to do so on short notice, and if you're trapped by floodwaters, call 911. Don't touch anything electrical that's wet. Stay safe.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else. Why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase Sensimist relieves your worst symptoms, including nasal congestion, which most pills don't. It helps block 6 key inflammatory substances. Most pills block 1. Flonase Sensimist.
There's enough Coffee Mate pumpkin spice flavor for one more cup.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, every time.
You know I can only do paper, right?
Oh, because the
Coffee Mate seasonal flavors are here.
It's like a mitt with no fingers.
With worsening weather patterns, an aging